Now, I realize that some of you will be triggered by the brands that are featured in this video. So I did y'all a solid. You see this? You don't have to see that. See that? You have to see it. And what else? Oh yeah, right there, up top. See this? All right, we're gonna show clear to make YouTube happy. Clear, we're good. This is a dummy round. See that? See that? Dummy round. Hi guys, welcome back to ParUnBelHomme. Today we're gonna be talking about the FN 509 Tactical from Fabrique Nationale, located in Herstal, Belgium. This particular model comes with a threaded barrel, which you can't see right now because I have a comp mounted on there, a 17 round magazine and two 24 rounders. I have the other one here. I call them joystick, by the way, and the 17 rounder. And we'll use the empty one with the snap cap that I just showed earlier, and we're good to go. Now, my history with this firearm. I picked this up right around the middle of the pandemic. This was not a panic buy. This was something that I had my eyes on for a long time. And then I came across this color. Since we're talking about it, let me start off by saying this. I don't know where to find one like this. I always get questions about this. I got lucky, okay? I was online, I saw it, I bought it. I didn't even realize it was gonna be a limited run, but they are hard to find as of today. And the same applies for the gray model or the gray color. They're very hard to find. So as of today, you only get the FDE one or the black one. I wish I could help. I have no idea where to find these. And these are called like the Bill Hicks edition. It's definitely a conversation starter. I either get messages or, you know, when I'm at the range, when people see it, how did you get this one like this? I'm like, I wish I knew. Anyways, so this is my FN 509 Tactical. I have about 2,200 rounds through it as of today, and I didn't write a script for this, so this is just going to be telling you my story with this firearm and, you know, kind of like the journey that this firearm took me on to. When I first saw this, I thought it was weird. I went to a gun store to pick up my TP9 SC Elite, and, you know, as I was browsing, like most of us will do when you're in a gun store, I saw this. I knew about FN, but I didn't know about the 509, let alone an OD green and an FDE 509. So I was kind of like, I mean, my initial reaction was, ew, like, what is this? You know, and just walked away like, yeah, never. And then, you know, I messed around and got online. I was watching reviews about the 509. It started to grow on me. If you've been, or if you are in this game, you know how this works. You look at it long enough, you start to want it. So I was really interested in getting this one specifically because I wanted to have like a test platform, something that came with enough features to, you know, allow me to play around. I wasn't into red dots back then, so this was my first optic ready firearm that'll allow me to pick whatever red dot I want. The TP9 SC Elite that I picked up already had the shield, I think it was the SMSC or something like that, mounted on it already. You know, it was polymer. I was just like, whatever. But I wanted to have the option to mount what I wanted, you know, from the start, and kind of use this as a test platform. My goal really was to have a firearm that would let me mount a suppressor if I ever had one, or whatever red dot that I want. Because one thing that FN did with this firearm is include a lot. I mean, you do kind of get what you pay for here, in a good sense. It comes optic ready with a multitude of plates. Let me just get all this stuff. Well, almost all the things that you get with this firearm. It's pretty interesting. These are, well, I'm currently using one of the plates right now, but this is another plate that you can use, and you have all the screws and the O-ring that actually sits below this plate right there, which comes installed with this wing, which I thought was a pretty unique design. I don't know of a firearm company that does this. But initially, before you mount your red dots, you will have this sitting in the cut with these wings. So basically what these wings are for is to protect your rear sight from all kinds of impact, either from the side or the front here. They will be the first one to, I guess, absorb the shock before they even get to your rear sights. So it's a pretty cool design, and it's actually hefty. It's got some weight to it. You also get the threaded barrel protector, I guess. The cool thing about this one, it also comes with an O-ring, so once you give it a good twist and have it in place, it doesn't walk off on you. They also provide you another extra guide rod, and this one is recommended. This is the yellow one. It's actually the softer spring, and if you read right here, they tell you why or when to use this, or when they recommend using this. It's basically, you know, with lighter loads or when you run in a suppressor, and just to make sure that you don't have any malfunctions. But in my experience, you know, running the compensator, which we'll get into very shortly, I haven't had any issues running the standard guide rod. So far, I was pretty pleased with what came in the bag for what I paid for it. Now, out of all the firearms that I ever owned, this one was the first one that I ever picked up from the gun store and took straight to the range and put 500 rounds through it. And the reason being, in watching, you know, other reviews and what people thought about this, or people that already own this were saying, they were talking about how terrible or heavy this trigger was. Not just heavy, but gritty as well. So I figured the faster I get through the break-in period, the lighter this thing will get. Went to the range, shot 500 rounds through this, I mean, non-stop, and trust me, you can get through 500 real quick with these joysticks. So put 500 rounds through it, nothing changed. But in my experience at the range was pretty interesting. I love the way it shot, but I wasn't accurate with it, and it's just because this trigger was so heavy, and when you break through that wall, man, that little shift really affected my accuracy. But when benched, oh, this thing is accurate. Like I'm gonna give it to FN. Like I knew, you know, usually when people are not accurate, they'll blame the gun instead of the shooter. Listen, the gun is good, except for the trigger. So I started to think. I was like, okay, well, if this is gonna be my do-it-all type firearm, why not figure out what's up with this trigger and maybe try to get it to an acceptable weight? Because they claim from the factory, this is from FN themselves, that this trigger is between 5.5 and 7.5, or 7 pound or 7.5, something like that. But it's just, mine felt like it was staying at 7 the whole time. This thing never got lighter. No matter how much I shot it, it just never got lighter. As we speak right now, it is a little lighter because I've done some things. I made up my mind. I had two choices. It was to either get an Apex trigger or M-Carbo, because I never really messed with triggers, and I was afraid because a lot of people were breaking their frames at the time. That was way before Apex Tactical came up with their little jig that you can use to push this pin here. This right here, this is the bane of a lot of 509 owners. So I went with M-Carbo. What they basically do is they have a set of springs, sear spring, disconnector spring, a striker block spring, and a firing pin spring. Purchased it, went to town, somewhere around this area. I was quite impressed. It dropped the pull weight to around like 4 poundish. That's what it was feeling like. When I bought this spring kits for the 509, I was reading some reviews, people complaining about like primer strikes and stuff like that. I didn't have that initially. I think my first 200 or 300 rounds with the kits was just fine. I never had any issues. But then I noticed that from time to time they will come up, but it was like maybe 2 or 3 out of like 200 rounds. And then you go through another 300 rounds and then you get 2 or 3 more. And then it kind of just went away. I was like, fine, this is good. This thing is shooting well. I actually started to use this as my bedside gun because I was like, yeah, I can trust this. You know, everything got kind of like, you know, worked out and it's reliable. Now, because this is my test platform, I was like, okay, what's the next thing that I can do with this firearm? I'm not really into suppressors like that. And I don't want to have to go through the hassle of, you know, just getting a suppressor. I'm not that patient. Okay. Like, I am patient, but not like that. So I thought I would probably get more joy out of a compensator than a suppressor, to be honest with you. My goal really with all my firearms is to get them to shoot as soft as they can. That's my goal, okay? That's my thing. When I get a gun, I want to make it fit what I like for a gun to feel like. All right? If there are options out there, I will go for these options. All right, I will make the gun adapt to me. I'm not gonna adapt to the gun.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
Well, not always, but you understand where I'm going with this. My goal really is to get it to a point that almost becomes like it's custom made for me. I wanted to shoot a certain way. And if there's a way to get it to that point, then I'm taking that route. And I was looking into compensators, and of course I went with, as you may have noticed already, just by the, you know, design language that kind of follows the serrations here. I went with the Park and Mountain machine comp. There, right there. Again, I'm not flagging you, and I'm not flagging myself. I am over here. The camera is over here. All right, YouTube, relax. Plus, I just showed you earlier that there's a dummy round. When you squeeze, nothing happens. All right, relax. So I went with the PMM comp, and I also got the magwell. Let's talk about the compensator. This thing is amazing. And this is just a single port. I didn't go with the double ports, okay? This is a single port. For what this is, just a single port, this thing is amazing. As a matter of fact, this made me want to get into compensators for like all my guns if I can. And then the magwell. I've got to say, just like with my idea of mounting lights on a firearm, my philosophy is a little different than most. Most people go into it or get a light for PID, which is a good thing. I don't have a problem with PID. But my lifestyle does not require for me to have PID in the middle of the night. I'm usually home. I know who comes in and leaves. There aren't too many people around here. And I know where they're at all times. So if I hear noise, that's not coming from who I know should be in this house. I mean, you've booked up a meeting with one of those. You just signed up, so it's on you, not on me. All right. So PID for me really comes second, just because of my lifestyle and what I use my firearms for. My main thing is always to add a little bit of weight to the front. Honestly, listen, if I could just run like a match weight, I will run a match weight. But if I can get double function, a little bit of weight, oh, and by the way, light, I'll go with it. So this for me does what I want it to do for me. So it's good. This does what I want it to do for me. So it's good. This does what I want it to do for me. So it's good. This, however, really threw me off a little bit. All right. And this is no dig to Park and Mountain machine, but I think that this is better at helping you with your grip or making it feel secure, because it pushes your hand up under the beaver tail and gives you a solid and more confident grip, I guess, on the firearm. It's better at doing that than to actually funneling magazines through here. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you look closely, you can tell why. You still have polymer exposed here and exposed there. The mag well is not, I guess, overlapping this section. So guess what? When you go for a reload, you can still get the magazine jamming into the polymer. And I hate to do that, but just showing you an example of what that would look like when you go for a quick reload. So there's that. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, all these problems went away. We're good. This is reliable. I ordered a PMM comp and the magwell. I get them. I installed them. I think I got them on a Monday. I had to wait till Friday to go to the range, so I couldn't wait, right? So I'm all excited. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna be playing with this thing. It's gonna be fun. Friday rolls around. I grab my FN, head to the nearest range, set up my target, load a mag, rack. Nothing. Tap rack. Nothing. Tap rack. Nothing. Like, bruh. What again? I mean, like, come on. I'm trying my best here to get this thing to work. What's going on? So the guy that worked at the range, you know, he just came in to like check on a few things, make sure everybody is being safe and stuff. He sees me packing my stuff. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, dude, Mom, yeah. It's like, you done already? I'm like, yeah, I think my my striker is dead. He's like, how do you know? I'm like, it's an FN. 509s are known for it. And I thought that, you know, me breaking through the 1,000 rounds, maybe I got the new parts that, you know, FN kind of like reworked or whatever. No, I had that faulty, crappy striker assembly that, oh man, it was just, man, I was messed up. It spoiled my party, man. Got there and nothing. So I talked to this guy. He's like, oh no, man, I don't think so, but let me check something real quick. So it does this trick. By the way, that's one way to tell if your striker pin is broken or not. If your striker pin is good, this should happen. The pin should hit this and push it forward. Mine didn't do that. It's like, yeah, it's dead. So I go home, take it apart, and what I was left with was this. If I can get it to open. Actually, let me put it right there. The tip is not supposed to be square. The firing pin broke, and that was it. This is the factory one, by the way. So if you own an FN, don't wait for this to break. Just get the heavy duty strikers from Apex Tactical. All right, now here's where things get interesting. I get the heavy duty striker from Apex Tactical. I install it here. Keep in mind I still had all the M-Carbo springs. Striker spring, striker block spring, disconnector spring, sear spring. Guess who's back? All the light primer strikes that I was having, they came back. Now, I'm not a gunsmith, but it kind of made sense if you think about it. The heavy duty striker from Apex Tactical is actually heavier than the factory striker. Just think about it logically. All the M-Carbo springs are lighter, which allows you to get the lighter trigger weight or trigger pull. So now the striker spring and the sear spring and the disconnector spring and all that stuff, they all work together. But now they're having to work with a striker that's heavier than what they should or what they were made for. So I was getting a lot of light primer strikes, so it made sense to me. But I was kind of bummed out because I was gonna have to undo everything that I've done back here. Boy, that's a lot of work, man. So what I did is I just replaced the striker spring and the striker block spring as well. My trigger pull got a little heavier than it was before with all the M-Carbo spring, because right now basically the slide has all the factory springs, the frame has all the M-Carbo springs. So you're looking at a real true hybrid here. So yeah, that's kind of like my story with this firearm, and I have to say it all started here with this trigger. If it didn't come greedy and at 7 pound, I wouldn't be, you know, messing around with these parts. But other than that, I mean, at the range, this thing just shoots. It's the most accurate firearm I have when shooting fast, hands down. I had a TP9 SFX. I couldn't shoot fast with that one. because of a dumb problem actually, the mag release. The moment I start to like run it real fast, I'll bump the mag release and then the mag will drop. So I can run it as fast as I can run this thing. Other than that, as far as features, man, you really do get what you pay for on this firearm. They come with suppressor height night sights by Trigicon, by the way. So you know you're getting quality here. And this is a truly fully ambidextrous firearm. Making a mess here, sorry. I'm tired, okay? I'm pushing through this video. It's truly fully ambidextrous. You have a mag release here. You have a mag release right there. You have a slide stop here. You have a slide release over here. All right, and you can reverse that if you have a problem with calling this a slide stop or slide release. But for me, it does both. It locks it back, and if I drop it, it will release it. As far as how I dressed it up, I already covered, you know, the park mount machine, compensator, and magwell. I guess it's a good time to talk about the red dots and the lights that I have mounted here. The last time I checked, in this cutout, like if I were to remove this red dot, I didn't see where FN actually put down or wrote down a specific type of brand that could go on this. So I went with whatever red dot that I had. If I take this off, we can check together. I don't see a brand or a proprietary type of rail here that would only accept one kind of light. I appreciate the worry. You know, most people, when they see this firearm, and that's the reason why I have this covered, but I could, like, if you're into this, you already know what light this is, and you may have already guessed what red dot this is. It's funny how, and this is something, it's not even a gripe anymore. I actually feel sorry when I see comments like that, or people, you know, lean that way in their way of thinking. They'll see a brand that they may have had a bad experience with, and make the issue that they had with their sample general issue for everybody. Listen, if you had a problem with this brand, I think that's time for the reveal, right? If you had a problem with this brand, take it up with them, all right? I've put 1,500 rounds through this and through this red dot that you see right here, and never had any problem, no issues at all. And it's taken a beating. If you look right here, some of that paint is chipping off because those paint cases are hitting this side from time to time, and sometimes even the glass. I thought at some point that the glass was just gonna break, but it's still going. And speaking of the glass, this is one of my clearest glass out of all my red dots. Like, there is no color shift or magnification through this glass. Like, what you see is what you see. All right, it's very minimal. Look at that. You see my finger? Compare the colors from this section here and this section over here. I love it, okay?
I will buy another one. I will buy another one. I'll buy 5 and smash 4 if I want to.
Same thing with this light. It works. All right, it's not even fully charged right now. It's actually dying, but it's still going. I don't know. I haven't charged it in 3 months. I mean, just think about it. I haven't charged it in 3 months and it's still going. And you want me to go spend $400-500 on a light that I barely use anyways. It just shows you how much I don't use lights. Anyway, so yeah, that was the big reveal. These are what I have mounted here. This was the first red dot, aftermarket red dot that I ever purchased, just out of curiosity. I didn't want to spend a ton of money on a product that I wouldn't like or end up not liking. So when I got this, I was pretty shocked. I even tried to get some more, to be honest with you. Because, I mean, it's funny how people would, you know, diss a brand and not even have tested it. They just heard somebody else say, oh yeah, stay away from those, and then they spread the word without even checking for themselves. I went and checked for myself, and my experience with this red dot has been great. All right, it doesn't have all those crazy shake awake features or whatever, but it stays on for what, 13 hours, and then auto shuts off, which is basically what you get with the Steiner. I mean, all right, and this came with a shroud. All right, it already comes with a shroud to kind of protect it from like impacts and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. Okay, so that's my story with the 509 Tactical. I know this went everywhere. I didn't have a script, like I said. I was just gonna talk about my experience with this gun. I use it. It's raw, really. It's between my range bag and the range until I sort this issue out. Man, long journey with this firearm. And I warned y'all in my PDP review, this was gonna be a long one. And I'm sorry, but yeah, that's the ups and downs and the do's and don'ts of you know, owning a 509 Tactical. I would say if you want peace of mind and a reliable firearm, again, no issues with M-Carbo, but that didn't work for me. To the point where I even took it out of my bedside rotation. Like, it's not even on there anymore. That's it. I'm using a different firearm right now until I sort this out. That's about it. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. You know, do the YouTube thing. Train, stay out of trouble, be safe, and God bless. The more you do it, I will delete it.
Okay, my bad. I just like it. Sorry.
All right.
Bye.
Can I get through this now?
Bye, YouTube.
Okay, can you close the door, please?
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Are you staying late?
Well, I gotta get through this.
Okay. Come hug me later.
Okay, will do. I don't know why I love doing this, but I just love looking at it like this, exploded like that. Yeah, this is a sick thumbnail. We're keeping this. Oops. That was loud. We're gonna use this, or we can use this. Yeah, this is a good thumbnail.